it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Hey, big smiles, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm just going to repeat everything my producer says in my ear for the entire show. What's up, everybody? Look who's here. I mean, Chandler, are you yesing because Georgie's here? Is that what's happening right now?
I love Georgie so much.
Do you want to do the intro?
Where are you? Where
Yes.
are you, Georgie? What's been up? The Priority Sports hoodie is awesome.
You love that? Mark Bartelstein was asking for your number the other day, man. I had to fork it on him.
Okay, guys, we're on the air. No, Georgie Yang joining us for the entire hour. Good luck to you. Chandler coming to us live from Sin City. And I'm proud of you for being here, buddy. I thought there was a 50-50 shot you were going to make it.
Thank you.
Profesh.
I was less than that, but I'm here. I am very profesh.
God, I'm actually shocked.
Rolled in straight from excess. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't feel great, but I'm a profesh.
I don't know how you're still alive. Guys, we've got some good topics today. We actually had a little breaking news yesterday, sort of the news we were waiting on. The voters were waiting on the ballots, and we got it. Cade, LUKA, both eligible for the postseason awards. The NBA ruled in favor of both for their extraordinary circumstances. MVP, All-NBA, all of those things are now, of course, up for grabs and rightfully deserved. Chandler, did they get it right?
They did, and honestly, kudos to Adam Silver and kudos to everyone that made this decision to make this right. When you think about this season and you think about All NBA, you can't go very far before you think of Cade Cunningham and LUKA, and I think they got this right. I think these were extraordinary circumstances. Now, are the floodgates open now? If I'm Anthony Edwards, am I a little upset? If I'm Devin Booker, who played 64 games and I could have possibly made a second or third team, is it a little gray area where now that there's going to be appeals coming out of the yin yang that might not get approved like these two did? Yes, but I do think these were situations where they were extraordinary. They were out of control. These were legitimate injuries. This was implemented because of load management. This was implemented because of guys resting, not playing games when they could play. These two guys weren't this was not the scenario. These guys deserve to be All NBA, and I think they actually got this right. And I love the fact that they made an exception and honestly did right by these guys because they deserve this. Their seasons were unbelievable, and the fact that they weren't possibly going to be like on All NBA and on their resume for the rest of their career wasn't great. And so I love the fact that they stepped up and made this exception. I really do.
Yeah, what do you think, George? Because, I mean, we didn't know how this was going to go. We thought it was going to go one way. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to last time I was on here. You're like, well, to my calculations. Yeah, nerd.
I stand by that.
Yeah. No, I think they made the right decision. I think at this point, obviously rules are meant to be broken. I think if you're an NBA player and you can get within the threshold 60 plus games, I think you should be in play for postseason awards. Is it unfortunate if Devin Booker isn't eligible because he's only played 64? I feel like if you're getting in the 60 plus game range, you should be in the running for those postseason awards. 65 obviously was put in there to kind of like strong arm guys from stopping to load management, sitting out nationally televised games. And I think we've gotten the point. And I don't think we just want to give out participation trophies because other people aren't eligible. If you are in the 60 plus game range, and I think that's final. Like if you're 59, you didn't get it. If you're in the 60 plus game range, you deserve to be in the conversation.
That's my thing, G. Like say Wemby played 53 games, like he shouldn't be the defensive player of the year.
Well, I mean,
when does it stop?
Technically, no, he shouldn't be.
No,
that's silly. I don't care how many.
It's a lot of missed work, dude.
He's still the best defensive player. He still had the impact all season long. Like I don't like.
We need you to impact more.
No.
We need you to impact more.
Yeah,
7 more.
Thank you. But you got to be you got to be present and accounted for. The 60 look, the number will always be argued, but you can't. By the way, it's classic that Chandler's the one arguing that you should be able to miss a quarter, a third of the year, and then just be like, totally fine.
But the contract is fully guaranteed, right? Like they got.
But that's fine. Yeah, you get the good stuff. Don't worry about that. No one's touching that. God.
You started George, this, Chandler. You started.
Yeah, this is so
You're welcome,
by the way.
Fellas. Get paid.
No. George, you're in these locker rooms. Like you're present for this 65, this rule change, everything that's gone down. Are dudes super hyper aware of it? Like when it gets to be towards the end of the season, are they talking about how close 100%. They are, aren't?
Oh, I think of course they are. I mean, you think about how much money is on the line when it comes down to these awards. It's a real big deal, and I think guys, you know, when they're meeting with the training staff or coaches, they're like very conscious of, hey, what is my game number at? Like, how can I, you know, avoid having to sit here or do this and do that? Because, you know, if an unexpected injury comes up, they do not want to be on the cusp of not making that game threshold. I think it's something that's, you know, constantly talked about. Definitely not in the early part of the year, but when guys start missing games, because injuries are going to happen. The game is so fast right now. You know, they're playing so many minutes that, you know, guys are very conscious about that number.
100%. Look at Denver. Look at Jokic's last game. He played 18 minutes and checked out. Like everyone is aware. Everyone knows the quota. Everyone knows how many games, how many minutes you now have to play to reach this. So that's my thing. If it was 65, if it was 62, if it was 67, you are still going to try and wiggle around the system and reach that quota. So I'm just glad they got this right. I love the fact that this rule was implemented for fans and load management and resting. I get that. That's what it was for. But when you have situations like Cade Cunningham and you have a collapsed lung or you have the birth of your child and you end up missing time, like there should be exceptions. And again, like Georgie said, like rules are meant to be broken. These are two scenarios where they are very, very valid, and that's not why the rule was implemented. These guys weren't resting. These guys weren't just taking nights off for no reason. These were legitimate injuries or situations where they missed time, and their impact on the team and the season still should be qualified to win these awards. And again, like G said, this is real money. We're talking about like real bonuses for being all NBA, first team, second team, real individual awards. Like that is a lot of cheese that you are missing out based on like one game or two games. Like I never liked it in the first place. I understand why it was implemented, but they got this right 1,000%.
This is like personal time off in civilian world, right? Like if you used up all your personal time off and now you're about to have a kid, sorry. Yeah, you're on your own on this one. Quit the job.
You got to play early, I guess. You got to play all your games early.
You got to ration
with the chamber. Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I would do. I would try to do that every single year. This is where it gets fun, though, guys, because we have SGA, Wemby, Jokic, and LUKA. We assume they're all first team, all NBA, and y'all's opinions. And if not, correct me. But we do have that final spot now. Jaylen Brown was getting a lot of talk, but Cade is back. Who are you giving it to, George?
I've been extremely impressed with Cade Cunningham. I mean, you just look what he's been able to do over the last couple seasons. And then this year he kind of just cemented himself. You know, he's definitely a first team all NBA guy. He led the Detroit Pistons, who 2 years ago, I think, what was it? They had 18, 17 wins, and now they're the first team in the East. I don't care who you are. That is, that's impressive. And, you know, to do it with no so-called, you know, co-star or whatever, no disrespect to the Detroit Pistons, they do it by committee, and JB Bickerstaff's done a tremendous job over there. I got to give the nod to Cade. As a peer, I've been extremely impressed of how he's carried himself, how he's been able to lead his team, and just flat out just win.
So wait, are we not going to live in Boston anymore, George? Is that your announcement that you just told us?
This is your ex-teammate. This is your ex-teammate. Scumbag.
What?
I mean, hey, I got nothing but love for JB, but I was there for 35 days.
That's long enough.
That's fair. It's fair. I will say, like, when you look at the lands, like what the Detroit Pistons did this year and how consistent and how good Cade Cunningham was, like he's got to be first team all NBA. Like he was in the MVP talks before he went down. Like that roster, that situation, from the turnover from what they did last year to this year, like I'm still so in favor of JB Bickerstaff being coach of the year, just from what that team is and the impact that Cade Cunningham have. Jaylen Brown has been great. Again, they've overexceeded all expectations. I did not think the Boston Celtics were going to be the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference this year. I thought they were going to be fighting for a play-in spot. They have been unbelievable. He has been fantastic. And now they're whole with Jason Tatum. They're a real contender. But all season long, throughout the 82-game season, like Cade Cunningham leading that Detroit Pistons team to a #1 seed, 4 games ahead of the Boston Celtics. You got to reward winning. You got to reward his consistency. He's got to be first team All-NBA.
I think he will be, guys. We get hoops back on our TVs tonight. We're going to start with the folks out here in the West. Golden State, Phoenix. Winner gets the 8 seed. We saw Steph Curry just being Steph Curry, Chandler, but I'm wondering how reliable or how sustainable is it to count on that happening again tonight?
I mean, I would count on it. Like, this is Steph Curry we're talking about. We've seen him do this. We've seen him do this night in, night out. And again, the plan I think is fantastic. But the pressure is on the Phoenix Suns. Like, they are the team that was the 7th seed consistently all season long. They're the team that has had this consistent season. And now this is March Madness in the NBA, where they got this team who's coming with momentum. Same on the East Coast. Like Orlando is in a real tough situation right now with this young, exciting team coming in with all the momentum. Like, it's tough, and I don't. They're 3.5 point favorites. Phoenix. I think I'd go the other way. I love Steph Curry. I love what they did. I love Porzingis, how he's played the other night. 51 minutes with him and Steph Curry together. It's only going to continue to get better. We obviously know how good Draymond is defensively. Al Horford, I don't think he's going to hit 4 threes in the fourth quarter tonight. But this team is just.
Big Al.
Hey, go Gators.
He might.
Go Gators. But this team is just experienced. This team, Steph Curry is unbelievable. Like, I was a betting man. I'm riding Warriors tonight.
Kind of shocked by that a little bit.
Yeah.
What about you, G?
I don't care. I don't care who you are. As an NBA player, if you have a closeout game and it's against Steph Curry, I am not sitting easy. And I am pretty confident. And I know Dillon Brooks is pretty confident also, but when you have to go up against a guy like Steph Curry, and you saw what he did in the Olympics, you saw what he did the other night. Like, this guy just lives and breathes the moment. Like, there is no moment that has too much magnitude. Like, you're like, there's no way he's going to do this. There's no way. And time again, year after year, summer after summer, he just comes through it. It's remarkable. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's beautiful. It's art is what it is. Legion Hoops calling him the greatest point guard of all time. No debate. You agree, George?
Here we go with these lists.
It's a lot.
I wanna stamp it without getting, just blasted all over the media. But there is hello?
Yeah, no,
we're still here.
Yeah, we're on pins and needles.
We're all ears.
There's Isaiah, there's Magic. Steve Nash was a 2-time MVP, but Steph is. I mean, I've seen it up close and personal. He's clear cut my greatest of all time. So I guess, yeah.
So yes,
say it with your chest, G.
Do it.
Yes.
Do it. Okay. We did it.
I couldn't agree more. This guy changed the game. He is unbelievable. The impact he's had on the court, off the court. Obviously, we all talk about his shooting ability. He's the best conditioned NBA player I've ever seen in my life. The way he moves around screens, the way he goes baseline to baseline, like, it is insane the way this guy plays basketball. And yes, again, respect to Magic and these greats before him. This dude has legitimately changed the game of basketball all across the world. Like, I agree with Legion Hoops. Like, it's not even close. And I don't even think he gets I think he's underrated. I think he should be higher up on, like, GOAT list, like the what he's done in his career. So I totally agree with this. And again, in a knockout game tonight against the Phoenix Suns, like, I gotta go with Steph Curry. Like, there's just I don't care what they've been through. They've had such a roller coaster of a season. Give me Steph Curry in a knockout game, no doubt about it. And yes, I do think he is the greatest point guard of all time.
The tingles are still being felt by CP, and that's really all I'm here for.
Like, I'm like a fan. I'm like a fan when I watch them. Like, it's nuts.
No, it's a good thing to not be jaded. Like, he still brings that out in people. I think that's a really great quality that most people
So, Georgie,
don't have.
where are you?
Yeah, it's a nice fan.
I'm in Vegas. I'm in the room next to you, bro.
No, that's not. Nope. That's a lie. We'll get to it. We have a whole hour. He will break, Chandler. Don't you worry about that. So let's talk about Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green. This is sort of the match within the match. It was just in February when Dillon basically said that Draymond Brooks isn't even that great at basketball anymore because he's too focused on his podcast. I gotta believe, Chandler, that Draymond is excited a little bit for this one.
Yeah, this will be physical. This will be an aggressive matchup. We both know how these guys play. And again, season on the line, playoff opportunity on the line. Like, this is going to be action packed. Like, it's definitely going to get chippy. These guys, they want this win again more than ever. So the fact that we know what they do, what they bring to the game, Draymond Green, what he did in that fourth quarter, especially against Kawhi Leonard and his defense, that's what he does. It might not show up in the stat sheet. You might love him, you might hate him, but like, his impact was undeniable against that game, against the Clippers the other night. And Dillon Brooks, same thing. He does this. He's also having that career high in points. He can go put up 20 a game this year. But all the little things that he does is unbelievable. So we're gonna see some fireworks for sure out of this matchup, and I think there'll be some text.
Oh, yeah?
There'll be some text given out tonight, no doubt.
Oh, we got to get it over under on that in a second. Okay, go ahead, George.
Yeah, no, I think it's like, did you ever watch wrestling when you were growing up? Like the guys talking smack to each other before the big WrestleMania match. It's like, they're adding fuel to the fire. This is what people came to see. They want to see mano a mano, these two go toe to toe, and Dillon Brooks is just adding fuel to the fire, gassing it up, and lucky enough for him, he's been able to back up a lot this year and earlier in his career. So I'm super excited to see this. This just adds more fuel to the fire. I'm gonna have my popcorn out, maybe some candy bars, and get ready to.
By the way, G, you mentioned wrestling. WrestleMania is in Vegas this weekend. So we got
I know.
WrestleMania, and we got Fish at the Sphere. There is a collection.
That's a different crowd.
Absolute animals here this
That's
weekend.
one song, one concert. I don't get it. No, I thought about coming out there just for WrestleMania. I'm very aware of what's happening. By the way, I've been to. You don't even know how many WrestleManias
Name 5 wrestlers
in my life. Right now, well, they're all the old guys are back. It's Roman Reigns, CM Punk. It's all them. It's Orton, LA Knight. No, Triple H is not a wrestler anymore. God, get with
The Rock.
Also not wrestling right now. You guys, if you're going to have this conversation with me, bring it. Okay. Also retired. Dillon Brooks, as recently as yesterday, basically said he wants them because he likes Draymond, Steph, and Kerr. He wants those 3. I feel like he's poking the bear at a really bad time, honestly, all things considered, George.
I mean, he's trolling. Like, let's be real.
So
like
good.
we know that this is what he's good at, and mentally it's a whole nother game for him. He's trying to throw people off, and kind of play his little mind game. He's really good at that. You know what I mean? If he can get in your head, he's already won. The fact of the matter is, though, that Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green have won multiple championships. So this is not the biggest game of their career. So, you can try as much as you want. I'm not sure it works with them, but hey, I don't fault the guy for trying. I mean, that's his game, getting in people's head. And if he does, he usually gets the better of that person.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah. They're coming. By the way, 2-part question, over under Chandler 1.5 on the technicals, but as a bonus, who gets the first one?
Draymond gets the first one. I'm going over. This game is going to be chippy. Season is on, it's on the line. 1,000. Is this an actual bet, by the way? Because I'd definitely take the over.
It's not, but I mean, probably could be.
Oh, between Draymond and Dillon Brooks, I thought this was the game. Yeah, I'm still taking over.
Yeah, I would still take the over.
Both of them are getting a technical. It could be within the first 30 seconds, both of them double technical.
It'd be weird if they didn't.
See, I disagree. I actually think Dillon Brooks gets the first one. I think he has a little shorter leash than Draymond does with refs. Am I wrong, George? I feel good about that, actually. I put money on
I don't know. Draymond might set the tone and be like, yeah, I'm doing this, and you're not throwing me out after this anyway.
That's actually a good point,
I will say he is gathered a really long leash. Some of the way that he snaps at these referees, if a normal person or someone else did that, they would get teed up so fast. So he's developed this a little bit of a longer leash where he can get away with a lot more crazy things than other guys can. So, but I'm still taking the over.
1,000%. All right, we're taking the over. We agree on that. Let's talk a little bit about Devin Booker's legacy, because it's not, weirdly, it's just, he's not a guy we talk about a ton. He's obviously fantastic. 6-time All-Star, top tier scorer year in, year out, all of the things that come with Devin Booker. And yet he's made the playoff 4 times in 11 seasons. What is Devin Booker's legacy, Chandler?
I'm such a fan of Devin Booker. I think he is so cold. I think he is so good. I think he's one of the best ISO players. I think he's one of the purest scorers that the NBA has. And I don't love the teams that have been surrounded with him. Again, last year with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, like those teams, I feel like they should have been a lot better. He's made some good runs. He's such a great two-way player. You see how impactful he was on Team USA. Like Devin Booker is a guy that you want on your team, and you want to see him do it in the playoffs. And he's one of those guys that you find yourself rooting for. But he definitely has to get over that hump. We got to see him do it later in the playoffs. We got to see him do it in the conference finals. We got to see him, compete for a championship. That's kind of how these superstars are judged, based on how far they can get and how far they can will their team to win. And again, I don't think it's this year. I don't think they're a real championship contending team this year. I think they're a scrappy team. I think Coach Ott did a great job kind of over exceeding any expectations. But they've just been missing something for a really long time. And I think Jaylen Green is very talented, but I don't think he is that second option on a championship team for Devin Booker. I really don't. But I can't be a bigger fan of Devin Booker. Again, I think he's unbelievable. I think he's a great team player. He's a great two-way player. The way he scores the ball, it's poetry in motion, the way he plays basketball. But you definitely want to see him take his game to the next level and his team have more success for us to kind of compare him to the greats.
I think that was a good explanation, buddy. It's kind of weird.
Great job.
I'll give that one a B+. Well done. There's still room for improvement. We've got more show to go. We're going to take a quick break. JOVAN BUHA. I like saying it, and I'll say it 30 more times when we come back.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.
Joining us now, JOVAN BUHA. And you know what? You're our second guy this week, JOVAN, and I've decided we're going to start a campaign. Writers, reporters, hosts, they need to get their own hype videos as well. Because you guys just show up when we come out of break, and it's kind of unfair, I think. So we're working on it. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. I'm a big fan of the show.
Oh, well, thank you. I like the vibe you got going back there. It's very, very chill.
We got the nightclub.
Yeah. Like,
wow.
You wouldn't know it was 7:25 in the morning right now. It's very cool. Okay, let's get to this because you got Lakers Rockets on Saturday. We saw the news yesterday that we're not expecting LUKA and Austin Reeves back in the first round, which is crazy because we're all just like, come on. Is that the vibe? Like, what does it feel like around practice, for example, yesterday?
Yeah, there's a lot of nobody believes in us energy right now with the Lakers, and that the cavalry is not coming to save them at any point. They've not officially been ruled out for the first round series, but the Lakers are operating as if they will not have them during the first round. I think that's the way to go into this series. So they obviously are massive underdogs. If you take the top 2 leading scorers off of any team, I don't know if any team would win in the first round. Maybe OKC or Boston or San Antonio, like the top 3 title contenders. But outside of that, any team without their 2 best players is going to be a massive underdog. So that's the challenge ahead right now for LA.
No, it's absolute gut punch. This one is the expectation that if they do in fact return, that it would be LUKA first. He's coming back first.
He has the shorter projected timetable. So yes, and he obviously went to Spain to get some treatment, and they're hoping that could shave off a few days or maybe even up to a week. So between the two, yes, LUKA is expected back first, but I think hamstrings can be tricky with Austin. It's that oblique strain. So maybe that heals up, or he can kind of play through it, take something for the pain. So I think that it's close between the two in terms of who would return first, but we did not get an official LUKA timetable. So that remains up in the air. With Austin, it was 4 to 6 weeks.
It's just such bad timing.
Spanish magic. It's the worst timing.
They were
terrible timing.
Absolutely rolling. And let me ask you this summer, Austin Reeves, he's up for a huge extension, right? And I feel like both sides want to get this deal done, but is there any hesitation on the Lakers side, like with his game and with the time he's missed, to pay him that huge deal that he honestly deserves?
I don't think so. And I think it came at a tough time for Austin, especially because we had that 24 hours or so there where LUKA was ruled out, and it looked like this was a golden opportunity for Austin to co-lead the team with LeBron. And this was going to be him thrown into the fire of, can you be the number one some nights? Can you be the clear number two? And can you hold the fort down until LUKA is able to return? And because I think the one thing with him has just been the playoffs, right? And going back to last year, he played through injury against Minnesota and didn't announce that until after the series because he didn't want Minnesota to know about it. He didn't want to have any excuses. It was just like, I can play through this, so I'm going to play through it. And that's kind of how Austin is. He's played through a lot of injuries throughout his career, and he just kind of doesn't announce it or let the team announce it because he's just like, if I can play, I can play, and I don't really want to like touch on it or let the opponent know because that can sometimes be an advantage for the opponent. So I think this was a big opportunity for him that we're just not going to get to see now unless LA can somehow advance to round two. But if you look at the guys, like right now, Austin's max is about $41.5 million starting out. If you look at the guards in that mid to high 30s range, Austin is just as good, if not better, than a lot of those guys. So I think he's going to get at least in the mid 30s, if not higher. But if he gets the max, like I wouldn't be surprised. So we'll see where that number ends up. But it would be based more on the regular season and what LA was projecting for him rather than the playoffs.
100%. He's put himself in this situation to get a major payday. But we also love to talk about LeBron James, and he's not getting any younger. Like, Windhorst reports yesterday that he does not want to leave the Lakers. This was not the situation like a month ago, I feel like. Is that the best move for the Lakers to re-sign LeBron James at this state of his career?
I think so. It's difficult to say in a vacuum without knowing the potential alternatives. But if you look at like starting around the beginning of the year, there was a real shift with the big three with the Lakers together. I'm a big numbers guy and lineup data guy. And just looking at like before that point, they were really struggling with those three on the floor, particularly defensively. So if you look at from that point on, they've been crushing teams, and especially in March, they had really come together in a serious way. And I think they had like nearly a plus 18 net rating with those three on the floor. So not only were they playing well, I mean, they were like dominating teams. And that I think is the key for being a contender is when you're playing your best players, you're playing your best lineups, you want to be dominating, right? Because you're going best lineup versus best lineup. And if that isn't fitting together, then I think that would have been a different conversation this summer potentially. But with them figuring that out, I mean, I think that's the other tough part here is like that had finally clicked. That had been one of the biggest questions with the whole Lakers season is like, how do these three guys fit together, especially defensively? And they had figured some things out. But if LeBron is willing to come back, which I believe he is, I don't see a reason why. The Lakers can offer him more than anybody else realistically. So maybe it's not quite the 50 million that he's used to, but even if it's 20, 25 million, Lakers would still have 30, 35 million in cap space. Like, I think that makes sense.
And regardless of whether LeBron is back or not, like I feel like this team is still missing something to be able to compete with the Thunder, with the Spurs. Like, what else do they add? Is it more shooting? Is it these 3-and-D guys that we talked about early in the season that they need? Like, what else is it besides re-signing Austin and bringing back LeBron?
I think to your point, it's probably a couple of additional starters. Like I think that's where you look at the Lakers and some of the guys that they've started this season would not be starting for the other contenders in the league. And some of the guys in their rotation wouldn't be in the rotation for other top teams across the NBA. So I think they need to add another starter to this summer. I think you could look at that fifth starter spot next to the big three, and maybe can you add some sort of rangy 3-and-D guy, someone in that 6'7" to 6'9" range, move Marcus Smart into a bench role, which to be clear, like Marcus has been great as a starter. I just think at this stage of his career, he's in his early 30s. He's had several injury, riddled seasons the last few years. I think if you could reduce his role a little bit and keep him on lower minutes, I think that's a more sustainable approach for him. Then I look at the center spot, and DeAndre Ayton, from a production standpoint, has been there over the course of the season, but he has been pretty inconsistent. It's been something that there's been a couple of articles about it. He's gotten into it with the media, and even JJ Redick has called him out a couple of times in the media. So I think that might be the spot where, depending on how things go in the playoffs against Houston, do you look to upgrade on the center position as well?
Yeah.
Jovan, if just so happens that LeBron is able to get, the Lakers out of the first round, would this be one of the greatest accomplishments for him as a Laker since the bubble championship?
Yeah, I saw you guys were talking about this the other day. I think it's up there. Like it's not a championship, of course, but looking at, I believe this is the fifth biggest underdog the Lakers have been since they started tracking these things in since 1988, and the biggest underdog since 2013. Which, if you remember, then that's when Kobe tore his Achilles right before the playoffs, and they lost to the Spurs. They got swept, and that was the Spurs team that made the finals. So it's been a minute since the Lakers have been this heavy of an underdog going into a playoff series. And again, as I said earlier, like you take the two leading scorers off any team, and it's just that's the reality of the situation in the playoffs. But yeah, if LeBron finds a way to pull this off, I think we could debate LeBron versus KD going into the series as like who's the best player. After that, you could argue maybe like the next 4 or 5 guys in the series are all Rockets. And that like just from a talent perspective and like who's the second leading guy, who's the third leading guy on the Lakers, it's not even close but between the two teams. So yeah, I mean, if he finds a way to pull this off and just puts on his cape one more time and leads the Lakers into the second round, like this would be up there, especially factoring in the age, right? And just he didn't have to do this all season, but he showed at the end of the year he did it for a few games, and if he does it again for a full series, like it would be quite the accomplishment.
Yeah. Now, at this point, do you think there's any chance that LeBron will have a statue outside crypto?
It's tough to say.
Love statue talk.
Maybe if he wins the first round series.
Not a crazy question.
Hey, Jovan, I'm just throwing it out there, man.
No, it's a fair question.
Jovan.
There are a lot of statues outside Crypto.com Arena. I've been to many statue unveilings over the last few years. So I think there's a chance, but he probably would have to win a second title in my estimation.
That would be shocking, given the
he's going to get his jersey retired, though. He will for sure.
Okay.
We're here for the statues, Jovan. We're here for the statues, man.
We are a statue show, if you didn't know that. By the way, we spent a lot of time, I personally have spent a lot of time whining about LUKA's whining that he does to the refs and all that. And then it's like he just went on a tear and was averaging 40 points for a while there towards the end. So I don't know how he operates. I'm sure he hears a lot of things and is relatively self-aware. Did that get to him? Like, is he just kind of sick and tired of hearing all of us be sick and tired of his complaining and it just lit something?
I think a little bit. He pays attention to some of that, not as quite online as some other guys, but he heard the noise and he referenced it a couple of times in his post-game interviews with us, or even sometimes with international media, because it'll have a lot of Slovenian media or Spanish media come to games and then interview him. And he had a response to one where he's like, the better I play, the lower I rank in the MVP race. So he kind of felt like there was a correlation with that. But yeah, I mean, that month that he had, and one of the fascinating things with LUKA's season was he finished the season with 2 player of the months, and Shea had one, Jokic had one, and Wemby had one. So that does not determine the MVP race, to be clear, right? But just when you're looking back on the season and like he was deemed the best player in the West, and all those guys are in the same conference 2 different times, and everybody else in the race was deemed it once. So yeah, I mean that March that he had was one of the best months I've personally seen from anyone I've ever covered. As you mentioned, nearly 40 points, 8 rebounds to 8 assists. They had a 6-game road trip where he became the first player since Michael Jordan in 1988, or actually, 1986, because it was 40 years ago, to average over 40 points on a 6-game or longer road trip. So like he was playing out of his mind.
He was on an absolute heater.
I mean, I think you guys have been to Miami before. Like going to Miami second night of a back-to-back, that could be a tricky game. He dropped 60 in that game after ripping the hearts out of the Rockets. He goes into Miami, drops 60 on them. So it was a special month.
Well, Jovan, it's probably easier when you get in on a back-to-back than if you
it's fair.
Last time in Miami is always a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a great point. I didn't think
That's
about
fair.
that. By the way, I want to get this in real quick. Coaching insider Jeff Teague had some info that JJ Redick could be fired after the season. Like I just like getting a Jeff Teague idea in it. Thank you.
I'll shut
but
that
just where
down.
does that even come
0%
from?
chance.
Where's
No,
that?
they love JJ. I mean, this is a guy that they handpicked, right? There's a lot of skepticism. Oh, this guy's a podcaster, and you know he had gotten some buzz as a coaching candidate, but you still had to take the leap of faith in hiring him, having zero NBA coaching experience. This is a guy that they've compared internally to Pat Riley. And that's a very serious comparison internally for the Lakers, right? It's Pat is the second greatest coach in Lakers history behind Phil Jackson. So no, the JJ's in great standing, back-to-back 50-win seasons, back-to-back going higher than the preseason projections in terms of win-loss and seeding. We'll see how the playoffs go, and but I don't think. I mean, yeah, he's not in jeopardy at all.
Yeah, Chandler thinks he's a better coach than Mitch Johnson, but that's for another time. Jovan, you blind ranked it. We're gonna talk to you soon.
It was a blind ranking, Beads.
No,
I didn't
we're
know
not.
who was
That's blind rank. Yeah,
I'll never forgive him.
You get a pass with that.
All right, your thing kicks off. Good luck. Have fun, by the way. Have fun in this first round. However it turns out. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you.
We'll be right back. I don't care if it's a blind ranking, Chandler. The other game of the night, Hornets in Orlando. Winner gets the 8 seed there. But Sean was with the news yesterday. LaMelo will not be suspended. He's just going to have to pay some cash, $60,000 for cursing and for the foul on Bam. George, I don't know what your opinion was on this foul, and there have been a lot of opinions on it afterwards, but do you think the league got it right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to see the best players play. Obviously, that play can be looked at in so many different lights. I know out there being frustrated as a player, I've had some of those intrinsic thoughts go through my head of doing something like that, but $60,000 really be hurtful to me. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to see a suspension. It's unfortunate that all that had to come about it and Bam couldn't play, because I don't think LaMelo actually meant that. But I think to an extent they got it right. We can't really have that in the game, but I think to an extent they definitely got that, somewhat correct.
Honestly, a suspension would have been weird, right? That doesn't help the Heat. Like, it only helps the Orlando Magic. And like, what are you going to suspend them? And if it was a series, fine, suspend him maybe for a game. And it was such a bang play that George, like, I didn't even notice it when it first happened. But then when you slow it down like that, it looks a little dicey, but
pretty bad.
I think they got this right. I also like the cursing in the post-game interview. Like you just can't do that. Like
I know my virgin ears. I was offended and I clutched my.
And
pearls.
I'm not even that guy, but come on, you can't do that. So I love the fact that they gave him the suspension, and hopefully
you can knock a dude out on his butt, and that's not worth. We got to get our priorities right. We have to figure this out. It's got to be better.
So you wanted a 1-game suspension?
No, I actually think that there should be a way to review it in game and be like, yo, this dude needs to be out of the game now. Like, I think that should have been handled and should be looked at in the future.
We already talked about, how much of this there already is. Like, we can't add more.
I know, but this wouldn't be player started. This would be literally a ref in Stakakis would be like, hey, on the next dead play, let's review this real quick. There was something there. That's all I'm saying.
Weird.
And by the way,
it's weird that I understand there was no stoppage in play, but like the fact that someone was hurt, you would think they'd take a little peek.
I think that's why people were a little confused. Also, I do love a little drama. If you remember after the game, LaMelo said that he had apologized to Bam. Well, Bam was asked about it. Here he is.
LaMelo said after the game that he was going to try to touch base with you and apologize. Did that conversation happen, and what did he kind of say to you?
It didn't happen. By that time, I was in the shower trying to figure out what I was going to do next. Just obviously everything happened all at once. And I wanted to be out there. So, at some point I'll see him again. We'll have that conversation.
Yeah, that's not a great look for LaMelo. Why would you say you did something if you didn't, Chandler? Come on now.
Yeah, it's a little weird. And by the way, does he owe an apology? No, but like as a professional, as this situation, he probably should reach out. But like, again, he's also now focused on the next round of the play-in and trying to advance and get a spot in the playoffs. So maybe he hasn't yet, but like I think that time should come and will come. And again, this when you really break down the play, this was kind of a dirty play. And again, this game would have been completely different. The whole trajectory of this game would have been different with Bam on the floor. And again, do I think LaMelo maliciously went out there and tried to hurt Bam on purpose? Like, no. But again, this was definitely a bit of a dirty play, and it changed the game. But he probably should reach out. But like, that's after their game tonight or their season or their upcoming series. Like, it'll probably happen, but it's definitely weird that he said he did, or I don't know if he said he did or he was going to.
He said he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the game.
It's not the
Oopsie.
best.
That's tough. The media keeps the receipts. So if you thought you were going to say that on the podium and then slide in a quick text after that before they got to Bam, wrong industry for that. So I'd just say you might as well be as honest or politically correct as you can in the media when it comes to that stuff. Otherwise, just say next question, because you're gonna catch your foot in your mouth. It's
so why lie about something that's provable?
You would get his number, G, and like text him, like, sorry, like what?
I mean, after I won, maybe I'd be feeling good, but no, essentially. Nah, not really. It'd probably be like one of those from across the court, like, hey, right? But I mean, you're right. It wasn't a great play. It doesn't look great when you replay it. So I don't know how you get back in someone's good graces after. Maybe he's just thinking like, I'll say that I did, and then kind of hopefully it flies under the rug.
Yeah, that always works out in everybody's favor in any relationship. Okay, here's what I find fascinating about LaMelo Ball, right? It's been an interesting couple of days because he's been called a clown. He's been called immature. He's been called a lot of the things that sort of he's been called during the course of his career. He has a moment tonight to prove all of those people wrong and let that motivate him to be his best self. Or what I'm worried about, George, is that he does exactly what those people say he's going to do and use that and become some version of an immature LaMelo Ball on the floor tonight. What are you thinking happens?
I'm wanting to think the best. This is going to be a tough environment for the Charlotte Hornets going into Orlando, especially during a play-in scenario, do or die game. But I'm hoping that LaMelo comes out and kind of just pushes this forward and you start to see the maturation process, right? Because if he can kind of get through all this noise, what people were saying earlier with the emergence of Knipple and LaMelo ending up, leading them to a playoff slot, I'm hoping that this is like growth where it's like, hey, the more serious you become about this, you can avoid all this criticism and continue to win. Because I think a lot of people were writing him off before this year started, where Charlotte needs to make a move, what's going to happen. And then if you can stamp that by getting in the playoffs with a young core, those naysayers kind of fall to the bayside. And I think that'd be huge for LaMelo's growth. So I'm hoping that it's that, because I think he is super talented, but obviously, people are questioning the maturation process, and this would kind of put that at ease for a little bit.
Yeah, he's such a polarizing player, right? I feel like you either love him or you hate him. His talent is undeniable, right? Like, he is a big guard. The shots he takes, like he is must-watch TV, but you don't have to look very far to look at, like, he can win you a game and he can lose you a game. Like, the foul at the end of the game on Hero was monumental. The turnover, like, he can do some stuff that will really make you scratch your head, and then he'll go and just win the game and beat Hawkes off the dribble and get to the rim and kind of hit the game winner, and you kind of forget about the 3 plays before what he just did. But this kid is 24 years old. He's got a great core around him. The fact that he has a chance now to go and get this playoff position with such a young team, it's just great experience for him. And again, it's never going to be about talent with this dude. He can hoop. It's just about him taking his game to the next level, him being a leader, him being a good locker room guy, like him being someone that you want to play with, like a free agent. I don't know if they want to go to Charlotte and play with LaMelo Ball quite yet. Like, there's some growth and experience and maturity that has to happen there. But when you start looking at the landscape of that team and Brandon Miller and Knipple and all that young talent that they got, it's attractive. But LaMelo Ball, I feel like, is the face of that franchise still. And he's got to take that next step of, I don't want to say maturity, but like he's got to grow it. He's got to grow into something different, because it's not about talent with this dude.
He leads them to a winning road tonight.
It'd be huge.
Winning tonight would be huge. Like now they're over the hump. Now they get experience. They get a series. Like this would be a huge step in the right direction for LaMelo Ball and the Hornets organization.
It's the first time in the playoffs for him. Like, this is kind of a big night for LaMelo. Like, it's all eyes, by the way, all eyes. Really, really quickly on the Magic, because it's been a team that's confused us all season. Well, Paolo Banchero, in response to, hey, we got to play the Hornets next, said that they've kicked our ass this year. Do we like that, honest, Chandler?
I do, and as big of a game as it is for the growth and the development of the Hornets, it's bigger for the Orlando Magic, and I feel like it's gone sideways with Jamal Mosley, which I hate because I think he's a stud, and I think he's has a bright future as a head coach in this league, and it just feels like it's come to, do we fire Jamal Mosley or do we trade Paolo Banchero? Like I feel like it's gotten to that. It's going to be one of the other, and obviously all the reports are pointing to, Jamal Mosley firing regardless of what happens in this game or the first round of the playoffs. So it's unfortunate. We had high expectations for this team. I personally thought this team was going to be a top 4 home court advantage type of team, and they dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of different scenarios that kind of have altered that. But this team is way too talented. They're way too good to be in this position that they are. And now they're underdogs at home against the Charlotte Hornets. Like, I never thought they'd be here, and there's going to be some turnover there in Orlando for sure, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. That's right. We're going to take a quick break, guys. We're going to come back on the other side and wrap things up on a Friday. We'll be back.
Run it up, then run it back.
So the JaMorant sitch is not pretty, right? Like, he's now telling people he's done. We had the fan appreciation where they didn't even give him a jersey to give to a fan, George. Like, are we going to see JaMorant in a brand new uniform next year?
I would say all signs are probably pointing towards that. Chandler has a longer stint in Memphis than I did, so maybe he'll be able to give a
and he is an
insight.
ambassador. So Chandler, go take it away.
I'm a legend in that city, George. So I'll take over from here. No, it's unfortunate, honestly, because I feel like we forget how talented and how good this dude is, and he's just been through so many ups and downs. And I feel like it's just ran its course in Memphis. Like they got rid of Jaren Jackson. I do feel like JaMorant's next, and I hope wherever he lands that he has his head on his shoulders and he can reach his potential, because he's such a star. He's such a talented dude. And I want to see him on a great team. I want to see him in the playoffs. And I don't think that's going to be in Memphis. So the reports are probably true. Like, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. The fact that it's coming out of his mouth, saying it, or his team or whatever, is not good, but it's kind of inevitable. I feel like in this situation where, if I was a betting man, I would bet that he's on a different team next year. In my mind, he was already gone. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about right now. We haven't talked
George,
about
where
him
are
in a
you?
long
George,
time.
why won't you tell us where you are, George? George.
It's a big
Chandler,
secret,
why is he being
guys.
weird?
It's a real big secret.
I don't like this.
No, I'm actually. I'll give the information. I'm actually in Indianapolis. My great friend Tyrese Halliburton, who's been rehabbing all year, was like, "Hey, you need to rehab too." So we're at his rehab. We're at his rehabbing compound here. It's the
God, I love that.
Rehab house.
Bye.
We'll finish up next week, George. Good talk.
What the